everyone, it's Sharana from Payorwait, and today I'm going to be reviewing and recapping Succession, Season 4, Episode 5, Kill List. Y'all, I know I've been missing for 3 weeks. I'm not going to lie, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I'm not going to lie to y'all, okay? Episode 3, triggered. Like, boohoo crying, couldn't even finish the episode, had to come back 2 weeks later until I could actually sit and watch it, and I almost cried again because, for those that don't know, I lost my father when I was 5. It was very sudden. I was very close to my dad. So watching all of the reactions of the characters reacting to their father passing away, it just brought me back to certain memories. So it was just a lot. So please forgive me that I've been missing for 2 weeks, but I had to woosah because it was too much for me. Beautiful episode, fantastic acting as a child who has lost her father. Definitely related to it. So y'all did that, okay? And then you made me have to go to therapy for 2 weeks. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this week's episode. So I love the comparison from where we saw Kendall in Season 1, Episode 1 to now where he was going to work. It was going to be a normal day. He listening to his little rap music. I was like, oh, look at Kendall. He back at work. So we're going to get some Jay-Z now. So he's doing his weird little walk. I don't know why. Kendall walks like he's a serial killer. He is a murderer. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. But he still walks like he serial killer, okay? He scares me. Like, I still feel like Kendall still needs to heal a little bit more, right? So he goes in and Hugo's talking to him. Hugo and Carolina's trying to get them together. And then he was like, hey, you want to go do a picture with Roman? You guys are like CEO bros. And I was like, nah, Hugo, this why your ass got up on that kill list, because you sitting up here coming up with ideas called CEO bros. Haven't made sense for me, Hugo. Out of touch, okay? No. So then they start clapping for him, doing the stand ovation. Like, y'all know y'all don't like Kendall, so let's cut the ish, okay? So Roman's already in the office. He's getting briefed, which Kendall kind of give him a look like, hey, son, like, why you sitting up here? You getting briefed without me being here? He was like, can somebody go get Shiv? Like, I thought we were supposed to be all in this together. The effateers, as they say later in the episode. So Shiv comes in after Carl, Frank, and Jerry comes in because they're trying to make sure, like, everything's running smoothly because, you know, nobody trusts the kids actually running the company. So when Shiv comes in, she says, is this Zoomers versus Boomers? I said, now, Shiv, why are y'all being like this? It's just a little bit too much, okay? They end up getting this email where Matsson basically says that they're having a company retreat. They need everybody to come there. They sent a specific list. They want to make sure that they can get a feel for who they like, who they don't like, so they can kind of come up with a kill list, see how the cultures are going to mesh together after this sale goes through, or acquisition goes through. So they end up flying everybody to Norway because they want to check the compatibility. Why am I struggling? The compatibility of cultures. Lord, why? Why did I just struggle with that? So Shiv brings up on the plane. Actually, before we get to the plane, can I talk about Tom and Greg? Because when Greg was like, why Norway instead of, I don't know what he's talking about. What's he talking about? I forgot where else he said, but he was like, it doesn't matter. He was like, why are we going to Norway instead of Sweden? And then he was like, it doesn't matter. It's descendants from the same rapist. I said, nah. Why you say that? The one-liners in this episode, I have to say the comedy was like really good. I love when they have all the characters together because like you're just gonna be in for a treat. They're on the plane. Roman and Kendall are kind of like shutting Shiv out, which I was like, y'all just said in the previous episode that you weren't about to do this. Shiv's trying to talk to them about stuff, I guess in their mind doesn't matter because we're trying to get this sale to go through so we can all be filthy rich. And then she's sitting up here talking about people talking smack about their daddy, even though we know Kendall is the one that's behind that, what he told Hugo to do. But, you know, he tries to like, when he realizes that he's kind of being dismissive of her, you know, he tries to like, you know, hear her, and he tells Hugo, like, we're going to tear down whoever's talking smack about our dad, even though he knows it's him. So I like that he was trying to kind of bring her in with him. But it's funny because everyone's on edge because Kendall and Roman, they're trying to get this deal to go through. They're trying to make sure they can get as much money as they could possibly get out of Matsson. But then you have what they call the old guard. You have Carolina, Hugo, Frank, Jerry, Carl. They're all trying to figure out how to keep their jobs. You know, they're comparing, you know, Matsson's team, like former Olympic skiers or whatever they were, like all these cool people, these young people who've done these amazing things with their lives before they went into, you know, the business sector. And so it's interesting to see how they're kind of comparing themselves. I was dying laughing when Frank and Carl was putting on them compression socks because they said, you know what, honey, I'm not gonna end up like Logan, okay? I'm gonna put my damn compression socks on. I'm not trying to go out like that on no damn airplane. I was like, you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at it at all. So Jerry had me dying because when Jerry said, like, they're European, they're soft, we were raised by wolves by a pathogen by the name of Logan Roy. And so I was just like, Jerry, you better tell them, you better get them, okay? You better let them know what you know. But we see that they, fly them out there. They're doing this corporate retreat. Kendall is not feeling the rooms. The rooms are very small. I was like, they really nice though. Like, they are small, but they were nice. I mean, at least they still had a bathroom away. They had a pretty view of the forest or the mountains, wherever the hell they were. I thought it was nice, but it wasn't his cup of tea. I was dying laughing when they did the whole buffet and then they were like getting all this stuff. And even Tom was like, damn, y'all fell for that quick? And then when the Matsson team came in and they were like, hey, save some for the rest of us, kind of like how they talk about how Americans overeat. I thought that was pretty funny. Actually, the whole interaction between the teams the entire time, it was just hilarious to me. But when Greg goes up to the kids and he was like, hey, how's the Quiet Squad doing? And they were like, what? And I was like, huh? Greg, they're not going to be friends with you. They're not. And I also see our little bromance between Greg and Tom is kind of starting to implode as, Tom used to be Logan's right-hand person, which is why people, even attempted to act like they respected him. But now that the only person who was really rooting for Tom is gone, Tom is trying to figure out how he can find allegiance, with any of the other siblings. We see him going up to other people like, I'm here to serve, I'm here to do whatever, and him trying to get in good with Matsson so he can stay on as some type of functioning leadership capacity. So it's not looking too good for Tom right now. It really isn't. I mean, even when you see Kendall tell Shiv, like, hey, do you want us to cut Tom's throat? Do you want us to kick him out? Like, we'll do that. But she kind of just walks away. Like, she's not ready to actually do that. And I don't know if that's because she knows that she's pregnant or what. But are we going to talk about Shiv falling? And, like, is the baby okay? Because, like, I'm still concerned about her and the baby. I don't know, but somebody let me know. But we see that Connor calls them in the middle of this to be like, hey, Marsha's trying to put him in a kilt. Like, this is crazy. We can't have dad looking like this. And they like, sir, that's at the bottom of the list of stuff that we worried about. Do your thing, boo. Just do whatever you want to do. Connor is really a nuisance to them at this point. But they give their blessing for them to do whatever they need to do. Matsson meets up with Roman and Kendall. He's weird as he always is. But, Alex Skarsgård, he's still fine, though. He's still fine in my book, but he's still weird. Roman was really disrespectful for putting his fingers in the food. You know how I feel about washing your hands. And Roman just gives me the type of person that definitely does not wash their hands. And the fact that he put his fingers in the food for no reason, I just felt like that was really disrespectful. But they're having this conversation. And basically, Matsson chases up the deal. He now wants to include ATN. And now he wants to offer them $187 per share. But Roman has issues with this because, it was the last thing that their dad was fighting for, to keep control of ATN, because he saw a vision for it. And so he's trying to honor his dad, but also to Kendall looking like, hey, bruh, this man just said 187. We was sitting up here talking about 144. Now he's talking about 187. He saw them dollar bills, y'all. And so now he kind of looking like, I don't know. But Roman was like, hey, nah, we gotta think about this. Let's just take a beat and let's just figure this out. Matsson scared me at first when he said he wanted everything for $1. I was like, no, sir. Why, you might as well just say square up at that point if that's what you was going to say to them. So they take the offer to Jerry and them. They go find Shiv. Everyone's happy with the offer, but Shiv finds out that Jerry Mencken's campaign basically has an open door to ATN, which is a huge conflict of interest, and she takes issue with that, and she's basically bringing that to the brothers, but she's okay with the deal of getting rid of ATN. Roman's like, that's his legacy. And she was like, keep an old sweater, sell the racist. She was like, keep the old sweater, less racist. And I was like, exactly. Shiv don't care about ATN. None of them really cared about ATN outside of Logan. So she was totally okay with this. But, they kind of take a beat. And then there's this awkward conversation between Tom, who's trying to talk to Matsson and his people, And then when they started talking in Swedish, and then Kendall was like, this might be more funny with subtitles, I was just like, the tension is just so much. And then they started going back and forth. And so then they kind of need to take a minute to just cool off for a moment because things was getting a bit much, all right? He was talking about ATN, saying that they can find a way to salvage it. And it was like, what is there to salvage when it's already good? The kids want to keep ATN because they want to, spin it off into Pierce. But I don't know what's going to happen with that. But we do see that things get heated once he calls them a tribute band. Basically saying, like, you guys are just trying to keep your father's legacy. He's gone. He's not here. Like, we need to move forward. Now that he's gone, let's do this new deal. Like, sell it, make your money, and be on about your day. So they end up going to the sauna. Frank and Carl was sending me because they were sitting outside while everybody looked like they was fighting for their life inside of the sauna room. If you've ever been in a sauna, you really are fighting for your life, but there's supposed to be some great health benefits to doing that, but you really are fighting for your life. So when I saw Carl and Frank out there, like, I'm not going to risk my life doing this, I was like, I felt them. I was with them. Okay. I was like, I see you. I see y'all. Okay. So, Matsson ends up having this conversation with Shiv. Matsson was so disrespectful this entire episode. He tells Shiv, he was like, I'm sorry that the weather wasn't good. You should have came a week ago. And she was like, yeah, everything was better a week ago. And I'm like, sir, did you forget they daddy died on the way to see your raggedy behind a week ago? About a week ago? There's just so many moments with Matsson just being the most disrespectful person ever in life. I just had to take a couple of moments and pause because I was like, this just is way too much. So he introduces her to Ebba, one of their comms people, and he called Ebba an estrogen air freshener to kind of keep things smelling clean. I said, sir, you did not just call her an estrogen air freshener. I was totally done with this. Kendall ends up telling Roman that, they're having a side conversation. They want to take the deal because I think they're just over Matsson at this point, but they have to find a way to make it seem like it was his idea so the board doesn't get mad at them and kick them out. So yeah, they're over getting their little power hungry. We want to just run the company by ourselves anyway. So Shiv and Matsson ends up having this conversation. And he asked her, like, what's going on with her at time? Like, how's things going? She's like, getting divorced. Like, what you mean, how's it going? And so he was like, I used to date this girl. And, I started sending her vials of my blood. And I was like, boy, what? And then he was like, she started getting very uncomfortable by it. Even Shiv looking like, but why are you sending her your blood? And then he was like, well, can't I just deny it? She was like, boy, that's your blood. Like, what you mean? They know it's your blood. Then we found out that the girl is Ebba. And so she was like, sir, I know you effing lying. You can't be doing all of that foolishness right now. We trying to get this sale to go through. They gonna look at you like you crazy. You sending blood to you harassing somebody by sending your blood to her. How that make sense, Matsson? How it makes sense? I sent my blood. Your blood? Like what? Okay, I'm not even gonna think about it. So Kendall ended up giving Greg a phone. Said the journalist is gonna call, tell him that, there's been a lot of tension. People really aren't getting along from both sides because he's trying to tank this deal. But in the midst of all of this, we see that Tom and Shiv had this crazy interaction. She walks up to the Time. She started trying to mess up Tom's shoes because they was too white. She tried to mess the shoes up. And then he flicked her ear. So she was stopping. He said her earlobes are thick and chewy like barnacles. I said, sir, what? Can y'all just make up? Because y'all have these moments where it's clear that there's still love between y'all and he's trying to make you feel better. But then why are y'all so childish the way that y'all are? But Matsson, Roman, and Kendall, they take this hike. They're trying to hash out this deal. And so Matsson was talking smack. He was like, your father would be so embarrassed by you two right now. Just talking all type of mad stuff. And Roman had enough. He was like, look, ho. He didn't call him no hoe, but I'm just saying, he basically called him a hoe after Matsson had already called them hoes. But he was like, dude, our dad just died. We didn't even have this man's funeral. You literally make it mandatory for us to fly across the world to come see your raggedy behind in these small ass rooms And we're mourning the death of our father who died trying to go see your raggedy behind. And you've been nothing but disrespectful to our grieving, to our mourning with these crazy deals, trying to just redo the whole deal last minute. Like, I've had enough. I hate your guts. Okay, I hate the air that you breathe. I'm not selling ish to you, sir. Read my lip. I'm not selling to you. And then he was like, hey, did you just hear your brother make a violation over here? Do I need to go to the board? Do I need to go snitch on y'all? Like, you think you the only people running this show? So they walk off. And I was like, oh, they finna get in trouble. And so we see that they're on the plane. And then they get a phone call from Matsson. And not only does he ups the price to $194, all right? Then he calls Shiv and asks Shiv to take a picture of Roman and Kendall's face, which they look depressed as hell because Matsson is ruining their plans to, stop the sale and so they can remain being CEOs. And so everyone's cheering, everyone's excited. Roman and Kendall just look so damn depressed about this entire thing. And then we see that they get the kill list. So I like that this episode is called the kill list because you got Roman and Kendall trying to kill the deal. But the kill list is they wanted to get to meet, the people at, with Logan's company in order to figure out who do they want to actually keep. And so when they get the kill list, we see that, the revised R was 192, sorry. Matsson basically, they gets the copy of the kill list. It has Ray, Mark, Hugo, Frank, and Carl. They're all on the kill list. Carl seemed like he's like, I'm okay. I'm just trying to get my money and go. I'm trying to stay with y'all anyway. So some of them look depressed. Everybody else seems to be safe. Roman and Kendall are very depressed right now while everyone else is celebrating all the dollar bills y'all they about to get. But I really like this episode. Like, Matsson, I like how he steps in as this new adversary with their father being gone. He's highly disrespectful. There's a lot of funny one-liners in this episode. And I'm really excited to see the kind of bromance between Greg and Tom dissolve. See what happens to Greg, who is just being so grimy, like trying to weasel his way back in as people are really trying to fight for survival because they're trying to get into the good graces of whoever they feel is going to be left at the top when the dust settles from this acquisition. So I'm very excited to see how all of that's going to play out. I know that tidbit about ATN and them being tied to Jared Menkel's campaign, I know that that's going to have something that's going to come and play. We wouldn't just mention it for nothing. So I'm excited to see what's going to come from that. But overall, I was okay with this episode. I like this episode. I like when we get to see everybody together. I love whenever Alexander Skarsgård is on my screen. Keep it coming. Yes, thank you. But yeah, overall, I really like this episode. I'm very excited to see the dynamic between the siblings change. Especially as Shiv is going to play all sides, okay? So she's getting in good with Matsson. While her brothers seem to be pushing her out, she kind of feels it, but not quite 100%. But, Shiv is going to play all sides of the coin until the dust settles. So that's just who Shiv is. But I'm interested to see where this is going to go. I was a little scared because, they killed my man off. R.I.P. Logan. I was a little scared that they killed him off, but I'm excited to see where the rest of the season is going to go. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think is going to happen? What side do you think Shiv is going to choose? What do you think is going to happen with ATN? I don't know. How is the board going to feel about this? Let me know in the comment section below, what did you think? But those are my thoughts on Succession Season 4, what episode is this? Episode 5, Kill List. As always, my name is Sharona from payorwait. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.